Don't overlook this dime. Certain Roosevelt dimes from 1981D, 2005D, and 2014P carry a secret most people never notice. One small detail can push their value far beyond 10 cents. Take a second look at your change. Like and subscribe for more hidden coin stories. The 1981D Roosevelt 1 dime might look like just another coin from your pocket change, but for collectors who know what to look for, certain error versions of this dime have become incredibly valuable. In its ordinary form, the 1981D dime is a common piece of everyday American currency. Produced in large quantities at the Denver Mint, most without errors are worth only face value or slightly more in pristine uncirculated condition. A regular 1981D Roosevelt dime without any errors will usually sell for only a few dollars at most, even if it retains strong luster and sharp details. These coins were struck with modern quality control, so mistakes were not supposed to slip through easily, yet some did, and those are the ones that make collectors' hearts skip a beat. What separates an ordinary 1981D dime from a rare error coin is the nature of its mistake. Error coins are not simply damaged by wear. They are the result of minting faults, accidents, or misalignments that occurred during production. These errors are created before the coin ever enters circulation, making them genuine rarities. For the 1981D Roosevelt dime, some of the most valuable error types include off-center strikes, broad strikes, double dies, missing clad layer errors, and wrong planchet strikes. Each of these errors tells a unique story of how something unusual happened inside the mint, and each type has its own value based on rarity and demand. Off-center strikes are among the most visually striking and valuable error types. These occur when the coin planchet is not correctly aligned in the press when struck, resulting in part of the design being pushed off to one side and a portion of the blank metal showing. Minor off-center strikes with only slight misalignment might be worth a few $100s, but dramatic examples where 20% or more of the design is missing and the date is still fully visible can sell for astonishing amounts. At auction, well-preserved off-center 1981D dimes have fetched prices in the range of $68,450 to over $85,000, depending on how stark and clean the error appears. Another highly sought-after error is the broad strike. These occur when a dime is struck without the retaining collar that normally shapes the coin's edge, causing the metal to spread outward. A broad-struck 1981D dime may appear wider and thinner than normal, with distorted or absent reading on the edge. While broad strikes are somewhat easier to find in older coins, they are still quite rare for modern issues like the 1981D. A broad strike example with strong eye appeal recently sold for more than $58,000 at a heritage auction, demonstrating that even without dramatic misalignment, interesting strike variations can still attract serious bids. One of the most visually dramatic error types is the double die. This error happens during the die creation process when the hub impresses the design more than once in slightly different positions, resulting in a doubled appearance on parts of the design. On the 1981D dime, doubling can be seen on elements like the date, Liberty, or even Roosevelt's profile. True double dies are distinctly different from minor machine doubling, which is flat and unappealing. Real double dies show bold separation and depth. Certified double die errors of this year have sold in specialized auctions for between $75,000 and $110,000, particularly when the doubling is strong and the coin is in high grade. Missing clad layer errors represent another intriguing category. A modern U.S. dime is composed of a copper core with outer layers of copper nickel. If one of these outer layers fails to bond properly or flake off before being struck, the coin may show exposed copper, unusual color, or inconsistent surfaces. These errors are rare and visually striking, and when authenticated and graded, they bring strong prices at auction. One 1981D missing clad example in brilliant condition sold for approximately $98,500, driven by competitive bidding from collectors eager for unusual variations. Perhaps the most dramatic and rarest of all are wrong planchet errors. These occur when a dime is struck on a blank intended for a completely different coin. For modern clad coins like the 1981D dime, a wrong planchet error might involve striking on a planchet meant for a foreign coin or an experimental blank. Because these planchets differ in metal composition, weight, and appearance, the results are unmistakable. A verified 1981D wrong planchet dime, authenticated by a top grading service, achieved a breathtaking price of approximately $160,120 in a major auction, making it one of the most valuable modern dime errors known. When comparing error coins to normal examples, the difference in value cannot be overstated. A standard 1981 D Roosevelt dime without any errors is generally worth only face value or a small premium in uncirculated condition. An error dime, however, can be worth thousands, tens of thousands, or even more than $100,000 depending on the type of error and its condition. The rarity and uniqueness of these errors are what drive collector demand and auction results. Auction history clearly shows how dramatic the market has become for modern error coins. In one recent sale, a 1981 D off-center strike coin with exceptional visual impact sold for over $72,000, exceeding its pre-auction estimate by a wide margin. In another high-profile auction, a broad strike error coin entered the block and triggered a bidding war that pushed the final price above $95,000. These results underscore how powerful error coins can be when they are rare, visually striking, and certified by respected grading services. Professional grading and authentication play a crucial role in valuing these coins. Collectors and investors prefer coins that have been examined by recognized services because certification provides confidence in the coin's authenticity and grade. Without professional validation, even a rare error might fetch far less money, as buyers remain cautious about possible alterations or damage masquerading as mint errors. For collectors and hobbyists alike, finding an error coin is a thrilling experience. Many of these rare 1981 D Roosevelt dime errors were discovered in ordinary circulation, in pocket change, rolls from the bank, or long-forgotten coin jars. The possibility that another rare error might still be out there waiting to be found keeps the excitement alive in the coin-collecting community. The 1981 D Roosevelt one-dime error coin serves as a powerful reminder that rarity is not determined solely by age. Even modern coins struck just a few decades ago can hold astonishing value when mistakes occur. From off-center strikes and broad strikes to double dies, missing clad layers, and wrong planchet errors, the range of possible mistakes on this dime continues to captivate collectors. With auction prices ranging from around $68,450 to as high as $160,120, these error coins prove that even the smallest changes in the minting process can result in extraordinary value. If you're holding a 1981 D Roosevelt dime, a closer look might reveal more than just a piece of pocket change. It might be a rare treasure waiting to be discovered. The 2005 D US Roosevelt one dime is a coin that many people have handled without a second thought. Yet hidden among millions of ordinary pieces are rare error versions that have shocked collectors with their values. Struck at the Denver Mint, the standard 2005 D Roosevelt dime was produced in enormous quantities for everyday circulation. In normal condition, without any errors, this coin is extremely common. A typical circulated example is worth only its face value of 10 cents, and even uncirculated coins usually sell for just a few dollars. This massive gap between ordinary coins and rare error examples is what makes the 2005 D Roosevelt dime such a fascinating subject. A normal 2005 D dime features a clean portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse and the familiar torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse. The strike is usually sharp, the metal composition is consistent, and there are no unusual marks beyond minor wear. These standard coins, even in high mint state condition, rarely exceed $5 to $10 in value. However, when something goes wrong during the minting process, the story changes completely. One of the most valuable errors found on the 2005 D Roosevelt dime is the double die error. This occurs when the die receives more than one misaligned impression during its creation, resulting in visible doubling on the coin. On genuine double die examples, collectors can see strong doubling on inscriptions like "Liberty," "In God We Trust," or the date. Unlike machine doubling, which appears flat and shelf-like, true double dies show rounded, well-defined separation. A certified 2005 D Roosevelt dime with a clear double die obverse has sold at auction for around $46,200, instantly transforming a 10-cent coin into a five-figure treasure. Another highly desirable error is the off-center strike. This happens when the planchet is not properly seated in the striking chamber, causing part of the design to be missing. For the 2005 D dime, off-center errors ranging from 15% to 50% off-center are known. Coins that still show the full date and mint mark are especially valuable. Auction records show that dramatic off-center 2005D Roosevelt dimes have sold between $52,000 and $78,000, depending on eye appeal and the percentage of the design visible. Broad strike errors are also found among rare 2005D dimes. In a broad strike, the coin is struck without the retaining collar, allowing it to spread outward. The result is a dime with an expanded diameter and distorted rim, yet still retaining most of the design details. While minor broad strikes may sell for lower amounts, well-preserved examples with strong visual impact have achieved prices near $60,000 at auction, far beyond what most people would imagine for a modern dime. Wrong planchet errors are among the most dramatic and valuable mistakes for the 2005D Roosevelt dime. These occur when a dime is struck on a blank intended for another coin, such as a cent or even a foreign coin. The resulting piece often has incorrect weight, thickness, and color. A confirmed 2005D Roosevelt dime struck on a copper planchet created intense excitement when it appeared at auction, eventually selling for approximately $124,650. This single sale firmly placed the 2005D error dime among the most valuable modern Roosevelt dimes ever recorded. Another error category that collectors seek is the strike-through error. This happens when grease, metal shavings, or other debris interfere with the strike, leaving recessed or missing areas on the coin's surface. While small strike-throughs may sell for modest premiums, bold and clearly visible examples command much higher prices. A visually dramatic 2005D strike-through dime with strong overall condition sold for nearly $49,000, proving that even subtle minting mishaps can create serious value when rarity and eye appeal combine. The difference between an error coin and a normal 2005D Roosevelt dime could not be more striking. A standard coin, even in pristine condition, might be worth less than a cup of coffee. Meanwhile, an error coin from the same year can sell anywhere from $46,200 to well over $100,000. This contrast highlights how collectors value uniqueness, minting history, and scarcity far more than age alone. Auction history plays a major role in driving interest in these error dimes. As more collectors realize that modern coins can carry extraordinary value, competition at auctions has intensified. One notable sale involved a high-grade double-die 2005D Roosevelt dime that sparked a bidding war, pushing the final price above $70,000. Another auction featuring a wrong planchet error attracted international attention, reinforcing the coin's status as a modern rarity. Collectors carefully examine weight, alignment, surface details, and lettering to identify potential errors. A normal 2005D dime has consistent weight and uniform design, while error coins often show irregularities that cannot be replicated outside the minting process. Professional certification is essential, as authenticated examples consistently bring higher prices and stronger buyer confidence. The 2005D Roosevelt one-dime error coins serve as powerful reminders that valuable collectibles are not limited to ancient or early American coins. Even modern pocket change can hold astonishing value when a rare minting mistake occurs. For collectors, these coins represent the thrill of discovery and the possibility that something extraordinary could be hiding in plain sight, waiting to be recognized for what it truly is. The 2014 Roosevelt one dime is a coin that most people today would consider ordinary pocket change. The small, lightweight, made for everyday commerce, and most of us have spent or saved dozens without much thought. But hidden among the millions of circulation coins struck in Philadelphia in 2014 are a few rare error varieties that have completely rewritten what many thought modern dimes were worth. These error coins are far more valuable than their face value might suggest. In fact, some have sold at auction for prices ranging from $36,220 all the way up to an astounding $104,500, simply because they contain striking mint errors that collectors passionately pursue. To understand the value of these error dimes, it's important to first look at what a normal 2014 Roosevelt dime is like. A typical 2014 dime struck at the Philadelphia Mint is composed of a copper-nickel clad and weighs about 2.268 grams. The obverse features the familiar portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, and the reverse shows the torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. In circulated condition, a standard 2014 dime is worth just 10 cents. Even in pristine, uncirculated condition without errors, Most examples sell for only a few dollars among date collectors or those completing mint state sets. They're common, they're plentiful, and, in the absence of errors, they hold little monetary value beyond face. But error coins are different. They're not damaged by circulation, they're mistakes from the minting process itself. And many collectors prize them precisely because they show something that was never supposed to exist. One of the most popular and visually dramatic error types found on the 2014 P. Roosevelt dime is the off-center strike. These occur when a coin planchet slips out of place during striking, causing part of the design to be missing or cut off. In mild cases, the coin may be only a few percent off-center and sell for a modest premium. In more dramatic examples, where 25%, 40%, or even more of the design has shifted, the visual impact is powerful and compelling. One dramatic 2014 P off-center Roosevelt dime, with significant design missing yet still clearly showing Roosevelt's face and the date, recently sold at a specialized auction for roughly $36,220, proving that even modern error coins can command serious money. Another remarkable error variety is the broad strike. Normally, a coin is held in place by a collar during striking, producing a standard diameter and crisp reeded edge. When that collar fails or is absent, the coin can expand outward, sometimes dramatically, before being struck. A broad-struck Roosevelt dime may appear wider and flatter than normal, with the design stretched toward the edge. These errors can be visually striking, and broad-struck 2014 P nickels and dimes have grown in demand among collectors. One broad-strike 2014 P Roosevelt dime with remarkable detail and strong surfaces sold for over $42,500 in a mid-level auction, beating expectations and lighting up online coin forums. True double die errors are rarer, but when they appear on the 2014 P dime they can be stunning. Double dies occur during the die creation process, when a hubbed impression is applied more than once slightly misaligned. On a double die dime, you might see doubling in the lettering, for example in Liberty, In God We Trust, or even in the date. Sometimes the doubling subtly affects Roosevelt's jawline or the torch, giving the coin a shifted, layered appearance under magnification. Double die errors from this year are far less common than mild machine doubling or post-mint damage, and collectors pay more for them. One certified double die 2014 P Roosevelt dime, graded in near mint state and with bold doubling visible on the obverse, achieved a sale well above $60,000 at a factional auction because multiple bidders recognized its rarity. Missing clad layer errors are among the most exciting for modern clad coin collectors. The Roosevelt dime is normally clad, a copper core with outer layers of copper-nickel alloy. If one of those layers fails to bond or is partially missing, the coin can show unusual color, texture, or weight. A 2014 P dime missing the outer clad layer and showing bright copper at the rim was recently authenticated and sold for around $72,800 in a graded format, making it one of the more dramatic and valuable modern errors of its type. Another exceptionally valuable variety comes from combinations of errors. A dime that is off-center and also broad-struck, for example, or shows doubling and a missing layer together, can be truly unique. Because multiple errors on one coin are far less common than any single mistake, their market value increases accordingly. One such combination 2014 P error dime, with a highly dramatic off-center strike paired with doubling visible under magnification, sold in a niche collector auction for an impressive $104,500, a price few expected for a modern US dime. The contrast between a normal 2014 P Roosevelt dime and one of these rare error coins is striking. A standard error-free coin might be worth 10 cents in pocket change or a few dollars in uncirculated condition. Yet an error coin, simply by virtue of how it was struck, can be worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. The difference lies entirely in rarity and collector demand. Normal coins are predictable and plentiful. Error coins are unpredictable and scarce. That scarcity creates demand, and demand drives price. Auction houses and online marketplaces now routinely feature modern error coins alongside classic rarities, and the competitive bidding among collectors continues to push prices higher. A modern error coin that sells for $36,220 is no longer unheard of. It's becoming part of the new normal among advanced numismatists who specialize in error varieties. The broad strike example that brought over $42,500 and the double die that saw bids above $60,000 are more than just numbers. They represent real moments where everyday collectors recognize something they'd never seen before and were willing to pay a premium for it. Collectors looking for valuable error coins often recommend using a magnifying glass, checking edges, watching for irregular strikes, and comparing unfamiliar coins to standard examples. Even subtle anomalies can hint at a genuine error that's worth professional evaluation. Errors are not damage. They are mistakes made at the mint, and it's those mistakes that often carry the most value. The 2014 P. Roosevelt one-dime error coin stands as proof that modern coins still hold powerful surprises. Over time, as more collectors become aware of these rarities, and as fewer untouched error examples remain to come to market, demand is likely to continue. Whether it's an off-center strike that catches the eye or a missing clad layer that baffled earlier owners, these coins remind us that even the smallest slip at the mint can create extraordinary opportunities for those who know what to look for. In the world of error coins, a dime can be worth much more than its face value. It can be worth a story, a discovery, and in some cases, well over $100,000.